I never chased it. I never disrespected.
Black market.
I respect the
But see,
foundation.
yeah,
See, there's just what we have to understand is, right, when we say low life, right? When you say low life, it's up to a couple of years ago that Wikipedia removed the gang part in it, right? I work in the jails, I work in stuff like that. And what is a gang? A gang is identified as two or more that commit crime. That's what a gang is identified to law enforcement, right? It's not this blue, no, it's two or more that commits crimes. They label you a gang. When you look at Wikipedia, and you can look at it because I'm going to talk facts. Wikipedia a couple of years ago had low life as a gang for the boosting and shoplifting. That has since died down. It doesn't occur no more. So the narrative changed. They dropped the gang and they said the subculture that wears Ralph Lauren, responsible for bridging hip hop and fashion.
That's what I'm talking about, baby.
Right? And if you look at historically, I tell people all the time, I'm not about everybody got a chapter in their life they don't want to talk about. So I don't stick on those stories. I stick on things that's going to educate you and make you understand, right? So when you look at that, right, now if you look at the Wikipedia page, it still has it, the gang part, but they kind of retracted and said was, right? And it says new members of the culture and the old members constantly have a rift because the new members cannot understand that, causing a lot of individuals to leave. Check that.
Okay.
That's on Wikipedia.
and that comes down to the point of like what we were saying, like if that was something that people coming together with, and we feeling like, yo, we trying to bring this as a real culture. When people come in, we got to make sure, like you say in the L's, it was people like the OGs that was there and giving out the L's and stuff. They wasn't holding them L's close to heart to making them L's really feel like, yo, I'm not just giving you this for a bag of clothes. You got to put this work in. You got to come around me. You got to come to these events and show up and show out. Show me what your resources are. Show me what you're about for a period of time, and show me that you're really worth doing this, because I'm not just going to give you some L's and give you this without verifying you officially. But no, dudes watered it down by saying, come on, if you come around somebody and say, yo, give me a bag of clothes for this, or give me that for that, and you down. How are you really gonna hold at the heart if you got it so easy? When it was just so easy to get, like, well, I just gave him some shirts and a sweater, and he gave me this now, and if he's not giving me this, it's like, okay, so what? Look what they doing with it. They not making it seem like it's really of some substance, because look what they doing. That dude just got his L's and he just gave him 2 bags of clothes.
Well,
you know what I mean?
We gotta also know history. Let's be honest about the history, right? The golden era, you have to be brave to rock this.
Okay.
Be brave to rock this. Fortunately, I never boosted. I had a part-time job. I ain't afraid to tell you. Back then, I bought all my low. Or I bought it from boost. Or I bought it from boosters. I never boost. I bought it from boosters. I bought all my low. It is what it is, right? I was one of the first individuals to wear the black low boots. Before that, I dyed my old cookie boots black, right? So I'm not afraid of that. So what ends up happening is there's people that was part of the golden era. There were people that wanted to be part of the golden era. They couldn't afford it, right? So what ends up happening is as you get older, you go back to what you couldn't have. You got to think about some of the stuff that you eat right now. Some of the stuff that you eat or the stuff that you acquire it because you can do it now. But when you were younger, you couldn't do it, right? So now you have people that want to be part of the era, right? So now since you want to be part of the era, there's nothing wrong with it. But in reality, we all are responsible for gatekeeping the culture. It's up to 10, 12, 15 years ago where dudes started to do community service, and making it bigger than just Ralph Lauren.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So when you kind of look at it, Ralph Lauren, this is a 57-year-old company. 1967, we're in 2024. It's 57-year-old. 57 years old. Ralph Lauren is worth $8 billion. The company is worth $9.2 billion. Right? We're dropping a bucket. We're responsible for being a billboard to the community, to the hood, for rocking Ralph.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a stretch to say we made Ralph. It's a stretch. It's a stretch. Because you talk about billions. So
see, yeah. I mean, to be honest with you,
if we want to say that, we kind of look like idiots pouring billions into a man.
Yeah.
Worth billions. So that's why be careful of saying that. We're responsible for connecting it with hip hop and fashion, but you can't say you made a man, right? It's just like you can't say I can't say I made Chip. Chip is his own man. I can't say I made Doc. I can't say nobody can make another man.
Yeah.
Right? You could say you played a part in it. Small part, but you didn't make them.
Yeah.
And the way the culture is, at that point, there was a lot of gatekeeping. And this is what caused the division. This is what caused more groups to formulate. Right? Because there was also the mindset which was dead and buried. At that point, we're talking about 2012, 2013. Nobody was robbing each other for polo no more. But because people heard about it, people was kind of leery of coming around. And then certain groups was formed. And people were doing different things. If you look at it, we still not as strong as we should be. We still not strong as we should be. You look at it worldwide, we 25, 30,000 strong. You could walk all day on a train before you bump into a low head, not like back in the 90s. 90s, you always gonna bump into somebody. Now it's not, right? And people may not like what I'm saying, but I really analyze it. It's a scary situation because we're all in our 50s. We're gonna retire in the next couple of years. We're just gonna be a blurb on Wikipedia because we did not recruit the younger generation. Maybe your kids may know, but think about what your kids want to wear. They're talking about a $400, $500 sweater. They're talking about they want to wear $700 Balenciagas.
Word. Well, you ain't never shit.
So we ain't never really built some level of structure to say, okay, we came from here. Has there been growth? Tremendously. Big growth. From where it started to me to where things are now, big growth. Magazines, movies, books, it's a lot of growth. But what do we need for the next generation?
We need the young. We need somebody coming behind dudes to keep the flag going.
When we look at our average age, it's anywhere between 40 and 55.
Yeah.
And if you look at it, your kids is looking at you like, Mom, Dad, I don't want to wear that old shit.
Yo, yeah. That's what I'm sitting there looking at it. Amir be hit me with that. I'm like, Amir be like, yeah, I might dabble with. He wanna go there. He wanna get his Alex McQueen t-shirt or something. I'm like,
exactly.
I'm like, damn.
With that being said, if we don't have the younger generation and a lot of the gatekeeping had kind of caused people not to be involved or be strong, because it's like, oh, who's this? Who's this? Who's that? Who's this? You're not an OG. You're not this. Who's this? Who's that? And the reality is, like I said, people need to look at the definition and what's going on with Wikipedia on how the culture is being described. Right?
Yeah.
So you got to kind of look at that.
I'm gonna make sure I'll go on the record and state, anybody that purchased them L's, you have lowercase L's, and if we find out, I suggest you come up here and tell your story before we find out who you is.
Listen, here's my thing. I mean, I get it. Everybody wants to be a part of something.
Yeah.
I get it, but I also say, is it really their fault if they really didn't know?
And that's the part.
Is it really their fault they didn't know?
That's why when we
Is it
laugh.
their fault?
That's why when dudes be saying that about them, I don't really laugh at the person. I'm laughing at the person. Really, I'm laughing at the person taking it, because if that's what you had to do at that time, then where was you at in your life that you need a bag of clothes from somebody other than what this dude is really bringing to the table, being that, let me see what your resources, let me see what you could benefit me by coming around. Let me make sure you official so that you can sustain and be here longer. And then you can keep things going or keep my name going and keep this weight. You know what I mean? So I'll be that, because it's like you said, the people don't know. If there's some kid coming, I want to get that. Like with these guys, if people come and say, yo, we got to beat you up to join us, what them kids do? They get beat up to join it. If they say, yo, you got to put these three dots on your shoulder to be this, dudes go and do it, because these kids don't know what they just know they want to be down with this organization, with this thing.
First of all, you don't know what you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fact.
You don't know what you don't know. So what you do know is, when I was younger, these were the stars on the block, rocking that. That's who they was for that era, right? For us, it wasn't Polo. It was the other dudes that was hustling, the dudes that was responsible for the block parties, the dudes that was sponsoring the basketball games, the bus rides.
That's right.
Those
Yeah.
dudes were more. They were looking at it. Those OGs were looking at it like, don't do what I do. I'm protecting the block. Don't do what I do. We kind of chased the bag, and we kind of lost the younger generation. We didn't kind of cultivate them to kind of make them understand, because at that point, Black people started getting some real money. If we recall back in our era, to go into Macy's downtown Brooklyn, you had to show your money at the door. They wouldn't even let you in as a youngin', right? So things have evolved. So with evolution, we have to evolve too. We can't get stuck in our same thinking. And I always respect the foundation, but honestly, I don't want to hear about how many war stories and how many times you boosted and how many times you did this and how many times you did that. What we doing next? Let's talk about that.
Amen.
And that's
right? What we
to be the
doing
whole
next?
thing.
Because let's be honest. You didn't know at that time you was creating history until it became history. So it's history. It happened.
Until you see, like you said, it stayed the test of time. It stayed here, it stayed around and stuff. And you know what I mean? And now we here. And that's why, you know what I mean, when, and it's crazy to say, because even with the people, even with the OGs that was there at the time, they didn't even really know, because that go to tell you that even though they was probably in their 30s or whatever at the time, they didn't really know how to control something that was that big, and how to say, hold on, look at all that's going on. Let's step back and let's get a structure of what's going on here, man. Because look at this. This is big. We already got things going. A couple people cross seas, screaming. Now this here in the land over here in the, we got to get this. We got to bring this together. Let me make sure there's some structure in this culture. Being that, yeah, you can come in here, you can get L's, you can be a little, but this is what you got to do to become this. This is what this team got to do to become a team, and you be official, but you are low life, but you got to go through this in order to become this. Not just give up the bag, because if that was the case, then everybody will give the bag. I cannot, that's what you say, low. I'm going to say what you say, they're low life, because that was the premise that was given at the time. That's what was saying. In order for you to get L's, give your bags. So now you
That's it.
Well, here's the thing, right?
It's a bunch of egos, man. It's hard to get everybody connected. It's a bunch of egos.
Like I said before, I was on the Flatbush side, and what was going on that side was going on that side. The reality is, none of us knew still in 2024 we'd be talking about it. And when you didn't know that, that means we didn't have the vision. And when you didn't have the vision, that means you didn't have the structure, right? So it's sort of like, look at the NBA, the structure that and the growth of all sports. you know, it just keeps adding and keeps adding
Yeah.
and keeps adding and keep adding. Steph Curry played in the NBA. His father played in the NBA. So LeBron played in the NBA. His son most likely is going to play in the NBA. So looking at it historically, the vision wasn't there because the formula was there because I truly believe anything in this world always started from a negative. Started from a negative and turned into something positive.